生界
Rebirth of the Malicious Empress of Military Lineage, Chapter 215. Waking up, Shin Miao had dreamt of a very long dream. That dream seemed to be very long and it lasted a lifetime. She had a bystander perspective as she watched herself grew from a baby bumbling over words to a lively young girl, from a lively young girl to a young female, then to a middle-aged married woman, then to the mistress of the 6 palaces and finally to an abolished empress in the cold palace before during into a pile of ashes in that fierce fire. She saw herself falling in love with Fu Ziyu and begging Shenzhen to marry her to Fu Ziyu. She sat at the side and did her best to stop herself from her stupid behavior, but it was all in vain. No one could hear her words and she could only watch as everything happened around her. From a perspective of a bystander, she saw how stupid the things that she did in the past, and this time Shen Miao finally understood. The most terrifying thing was to experience all the heartbreaking matters again. It ended when she married Fu Ziyu when she was young. Those carefree days, even when others called her stupid, were after all filled with freedom and happiness. When she was called Ding Wangfu, she was forced to be involved with all these fighting and scheming. Even her pair of son and daughter was unable to escape. The people around her left one by one and the first household of Shen family gradually declined. The prosperity of the past was like a flower that bloomed during spring. Once spring is over and one headed towards summer, and when the autumn wind starts, it would then wither, making it look cold and desolate. In that dark life where one could not even see a single ray, there were some matters that she had ignored. Those were the stars in the night. They were covered up by other things and became unreal, but after one accidentally discovered it, it was as bright as ever. It was like there was fireworks in one's backyard and had colors which breathed in live into the cold boring night. She saw Zijing crossing, not that stubborn and obstreperous youth, not that hero that died on the battlefield. His arrogance was the same in the previous generations as he rode a high horse and carried a bow, and in a conversation, he subverts an imperial dynasty. He drank the wine that she had offered under the clear and bright moonlight and gave her a wish that she could not fulfilled in her entire life on the dark clouded ruined city. They watched fireworks during the day and even did not miss the promise of that New Year's night. They obviously had a chance encounter, but he became the most indispensable person in her life. Because of him, her wish came true. Because of him, she could be redo her life. But that lifetime's fate was just too short. Such a beautiful fate that made one look forward to was halted due to fate's teasing. What was pitiful was that even with this chance of a lifetime, that short-lived fate still continued. There was no need to speak of any of the questions that were not asked. Many things had vanished at that moment, including questions and including answers. The past fate was the result of the future result. Shin Miao slowly opened her eyes. As far as one could see, the skies had cleared up after the rain and a delicate scent sachet was hanging from the corner of the mosquito net, most likely to dilute the bitter aroma of medication. A more intriguing scent was revealed after the scent and medication were mixed together. Shin Miao looked up beside her. The young male leaned at the head of the bed and one of his hands was tightly holding hers. His eyes were closed and there was a slight stubble on his chin. Even though it was not so obvious, it was a different appearance than how he usually was. His hand was distinctively defined, slender and warm, and it was the right size that covered her entire hand up. Shen Miao only moved slightly and Zijing Xing woke up. Seeing her opening her eyes, Zijing Xin was startled for a while and seemed not to be able to react to it. After pausing for a while, he then suddenly said, "You woke up." Shen Miao nodded her head. "Do you feel anywhere unwell?" Zijing Xing questioned closely. "Let Jiao Yang come in to take a look." He usually had an appearance of laziness that any matter would not be able to enter his heart, but this time there was a rare anxiousness on his face. Shin Miao said, "There is no need. I am fine." She then asked, "How is Gentleman Pei?" Zijing Xing's face turned black in a moment. When Shen Miao saw that his face had changed, she was stunned before she immediately understood. However, she did not know how to explain it. Was Pei Lang detestable? Naturally he was detestable. In the past lifetime, He took her fingertip blood for my Furin, and even though one did not know if my Furin's changing of one's fate was real or not, one felt that it psychologically helped, and that sentence of cut the weeds and eliminate the roots to Fu Ziyi had indirectly led to Fu Ming's end. Shen Miao had complicated feeling with Pei Lang. She could ignore herself, but the matter concerned Fu Ming, which made her unable to forgive Pei Lang. However, at the end, Pei Lang used his life to give her an opportunity for rebirth. One was unable to speak clearly of one feeling, as one was unable to be purely grateful or simple hate a person. One could only be done was to draw a line in the relationship. Shen Miao did not want to have any relations of owing or being owed. The matters of the past lifetime ended, but in this lifetime she did not want to owe Pei Lang anything and did not want to be owed by Pei Lang. She had remembered clearly that when the childlike assassinate attacked, it was Pei Lang that took the most serious stab. If Pei Lang died because of her, then in these 2 lifetimes, their relationship would not be able to be calculated cleanly. However, upon seeing Zi Jingxing's expression, Shen Miao knew that he had misunderstood. When Zi Jingxing was angry because of these things, Shen Miao felt that it was very similar to the little wolf dog that was raised in the Luo family army. She quickly stroked this little wolf dog and said, "He saved my life and is after all one's benefactor." Without any rhyme or reason, one cannot smoothly accept this type of kindness from others. It was only then that Zi Jingxing's expression got better. Zhao Yang had taken a look. "He woke up once yesterday night. His life is indeed thick." He then looked at Shen Miao. "It is you that do not wake up. If you don't wake up, I plan to bash that Taoist priest's head in." "Taoist priest?" Shen Miao was startled. "Are you referring to Kaiyan Taoist priest?" "What Taoist priest or not?" Zi Jingxing said with disdain. "He is only a swindler who earns others' money." The so-called Kaiyan Taoist priest had bid farewell to the residence of Prince Ting this morning and even took a good grade antique vase along, saying that it was a thank you gift. One did not know how was a Taoist priest whose schemes for a fortune would be a superior one. When Shen Miao finished listening to Zi Jingxing's story of that Taoist priest taking a vase away, there were some doubts in her heart. The long dream had resolved many of her doubts, but it might not be real. It was just that Shen Miao did not know why, but she felt that everything that happened in the dream was a complete story of her last lifetime. She indeed encountered that priest on the journey back to Mingqi from Ken country and thought that he was a refugee who had escaped and dressed as a Taoist priest for survival. She was after all a daughter that was raised by Shenzhen and had some kindness in her heart. So she gave the other party a bowl of water to drink and did not expect that so many things were involved. If she had really listened to that Taoist priest in her last lifetime and did not return to Ding capital, most likely there would not be such tragedy later. But if one had an opportunity to repeat it, even though one knew it was a route of no return to the underworld, she would not choose the alternative because her pair of children were deep in the palace. But that Taoist priest fulfilled a fate. Shen Miao remembered it very clearly. In the dream, her corpse had turned into ashes by the fire that was ordered by Fu Ziyi and nothing remained. However, the air of grievances was extremely heavy and would not just dissipate. Mai Furin instructed people to do some rituals so that she would not become a vicious spirit and would not be able to reborn. Her soul was imprisoned in the palace walls and would often move around in it and would be also weaker day by day. All of her things that were left behind were burned. If there wasn't the red string on Zi Jingxing's hand, one feared that she would have disappeared from the world. That red string had protected her some misery, and in all those days that one could not live on, Shen Miao's soul inhabited in the red string around Zi Jingxing's wrist and muddledly passed one life, until the day that the city was broken. She saw that Fu Chen died in the hands of his own people and saw Mai Furin and Fu Ziyi were tied up and displayed on the city tower, watched as both of them had tens of thousands of arrows pierced into their heart and eye, and watched as the countless fires burnt down the palace that she hated her entire life and raised till a pile of ashes. The unfulfilled desire in her heart disappeared, and at that moment her soul finally found complete peace. The red string was severed. She could let it go, and at the expense of Pei Lang's life, time was reversed and she regained her life. Zi Jingxing saw Shen Miao not speaking and asked with a frown, What is wrong? Shen Miao recovered to her senses and did not speak as she looked at him. She was somewhat touched. She was saying that there was no intersection between Zi Jingxing and herself in her past lifetime, so why would they be mistakenly tied together and one would not be able to get out? So it was that there was some entanglement in the past lifetime. Initially Zi Jingxing owed her a wish, but it was just a joke. One did not expect that he would keep his promise and personally end Fu Ziyu and Mai Furan and avenged her. She said softly, Zi Jingxing, do you have any wishes? Zi Jingxing took a glance at her. Why, you want to accomplish it for me? I can give you a wish. She said seriously, as long as I have the ability to accomplish it, I will definitely do my all. She had a solemn expression and it caused Zi Jingxing to cast a sidelong glance. However, in a short moment his lips were hooked up and he said in a smile but not a smile, good. He then went closer to Shen Miao's ears and said softly, my wish. You can definitely accomplish it. Shen Miao asked, what is it? Give birth to a baby for me. He spoke lightly. Shen Miao looked at him for a while and Zi Jingxing touched his nose. Just as he was about to speak, he heard Shen Miao answering, all right. Zi Jingxing was stunned. Shen Miao stared at him and there was a smile on her lips that was different from usual. It was not the kind that was put on display or a little reserved or somewhat lazy. It was as if she was really heavy and there was even a touch of gentleness. Zi Jingxing unconsciously reached out and touched her forehead. You are indeed sick. Shen Miao pushed his hands away and said, Zi Jingxing, you must be terrified on your birthday. Zi Jingxing released his hands and seeing that her expression was calm and there was nothing strange, he felt relief and followed her topic of conversation and asked, what do you think? I even thought. He did not continue speaking. Even upon recalling that scene now, Zi Jingxing could not help but felt scared. Shen Miao was laying in a pool of blood and seemed to be unconscious, as if she would not wake up again. His heart seized and stopped, even when he brought the Zi family army to the northern Jiang's battlefield for the first time. Even if someone was scheming in the dark and his life and death was unclear, he was not as fearful as he was currently. He also had things he was fearful of, also had people he was afraid of losing and also had weakness. These three things were all the same. Which was this person in front? I will make up of it. Shen Miao said, has your birthday long passed? Why not one make it up for you today? Zi Jingxing looked at her unfathomably and said, one appreciate your kindness. Your health is not recovered yet, so don't torment yourself. It is only a superficial wound. Shen Miao instead took the initiative to say, let's go out. She behaved somewhat abnormally after she woke up. First was that Shen Miao was not a playful person and second, she seemed to be much more intimate than she was before. Her previous temperament was somewhat restrained and even though one did not know why she was used to put it up, but Shen Miao was one who had a big ego, else she would not be in a cold war with Zi Jingxing for that long. For her to take the initiative and fawn, it made Zi Jingxing surprised. He squinted his eyes and asked, did you do something behind my back? Shen Miao nodded her head seriously. Is it related with Pei Lang? Zi Jingxing's expression got cold. Shen Miao took a deep breath. She felt that one could not indulge this conduct of Zi Jing crossing. Just what was he thinking? After resuming her normal look, she asked, are you going or not? Before Zi Jingxing could speak about her changing temperament, one heard a voice from behind, go then. Zhao Yang walked in and took a look at Shen Miao. One heard that you woke up and came over to take along. Originally that wound is a superficial wound and it did not affect any internal functions. It is all right. He then said to Zi Jingxing, it is also good for you to have some activity with your body as you have been guarding in the room and did not even gone out to the sun. The weather is good today. It is all right as long one does not return late. Afterwards, he picked his medical box in the room and left. Zi Jingxing and Shen Miao looked at one another in silence. After half a moment Zi Jingxing smiled, what do you want to play? Ever since one came to Longyi, one did not go out for a walk. Shen Miao said, I am not too familiar with Longyi, so accompany me to walk around and talk to me about things here. Shen Miao suddenly remembered something and said, Oh right, that day when I was at the pavilion outside by Xiaoluo, I have instructed Ba Zhao to buy a number of fireworks and most likely they are still there, bring all of them along. Watch what fireworks in broad daylight. Zi Jingxing stared at her. Is your head also injured? Shen Miao asked in reply. Have you seen fireworks during the day? Zi Jingxing said. Whoever is silly would have seen it. I have seen it before. Shen Miao replied. Zi Jingxing stared at her in doubt. Fireworks at night are good to look at, but it would not be inferior during the day. Since you have not seen it, I will bring you to take a look. Shen Miao smiled gently and wanted to get out of bed. However, she was lying on the bed for these few days and her legs became stiff, thus it was so painful for her to get out like this that she took a deep breath of cold air. You will? Shen Miao could tell from his expression that he did not have good intentions. Zi Jingxing said, beg me and I will help you. He leaned over, as if to listen carefully to how Shen Miao would give in. Shen Miao felt that Zi Jingxing's temperament was really unpredictable. There were obviously some overbearing points, and when he was a youth, he had a scheming and calculative mind that adults could hardly match, but currently he looked more like a youth who likes to play tricks and would tease others. She stared at Zi Jingxing's flamboyant side view and her heart moved before she directly gave a kiss to Zi Jingxing's cheek. Zi Jingxing was stunned and Shen Miao diverted her gaze and looked at the sachet that was hanging at the head of the bed. Shen Miao. Zi Jingxing frowned at her. You are seriously ill. Zhao Yang has to come over to take a look. He was about to walk away when Shen Miao panicked and stopped him. Zi Jing crossing. He paused and turned his head, but his expression was a mischievous one. Shen Miao knew that she had been fooled and felt regretful in her heart, but after seeing Zi Jingxing laughing out loud and suddenly walking up to pick her up, Shen Miao unconsciously hooked her arms around his neck. Zi Jingxing carried her like that out the door, causing all the servants in the residence of Prince Rui to look at them. In Shen Miao's previous lifetime, she had never been so unbridled intimate with a male. No matter if it was in the residence of Prince Ting or the inner palace, she would have a manner of an empress, and even if it was Mai Furen, she was also not carried by Fu Ziyu in front of so many people. If it was the case, then the reputation of a fatuous monarch and disastrous beauty would be solidified. Was it that her previous lifetime was a dignified and solemn empress, and this lifetime she would have a reputation of a disastrous beauty? Zi Jingxing was quite like a fatuous monarch. Shen Miao was thinking such nonsense when her eyes swept over the servants who were covering their mouths snickering, and she got annoyed. She pinched Zi Jingxing and said, "What are you doing? Quickly let me down." "Oh, know how to be shy?" Zi Jingxing raised his eyebrows as he spoke, and his tone made one feel like beating him up. He continued, "One does not know who is it just now who wanted to destroy my innocence in broad daylight." He actually used the words destroying innocence in broad daylight. Shen Miao worked hard to calm her emotions. However, Luo Tan came over. Luo Tan most likely did not expect to see such a scene. Even though she was usually open-minded, she was after all a female and thus instantly became somewhat uncomfortable. Shen Miao let Zi Jingxing put her down, and Luo Tan did not know where to fix her gaze, so Shen Miao asked her, "These days have also been difficult for you?" "It is not difficult." "Not difficult." Luo Tan waved her hands continuously as she was a little scared seeing Zi Jingxing at the side. At that she was wholeheartedly venting on Shen Miao's behalf and raged at Zi Jingxing, but afterwards became regretful. The other party had power, held a high position, and was even Prince Ru of first rank in Great Liang, and if he were to lash out at Shen Miao, then her offense would be greater. Now upon seeing that Shen Miao and Zi Jingxing were being intimate, it seemed that there was no quarrels and could not help but felt gratitude in her heart. "Oh yes." Luo Tan suddenly remembered something and took out something from her sleeves and placed it onto Shen Miao's hands. "This is what Kaiyan Taoist priest passed to me before he left, and he had instructed me to pass it on to you, indicating that it is a parting gift for you." That was a small wooden box with a carving that looked like a chicken and a snake soul. Luo Tan said, "One do not know why the need to carve a chicken and snake, Shen Miao." She then said, This is a dragon and phoenix. Kaiyan Taoist priest's carving was really not flattering, and if Shen Miao did not have an understanding, one feared that she would really not be able to see that this was a dragon and phoenix. Luo Tan choked on it as Shen Miao opened the wooden box and took out 2 red strings out. This, Luo Tan said, these are just 2 red strings. There is nothing special, but he said it so strangely that one thought it was some valuable thing. It is better to send some herbs over. That Taoist priest is sure stingy. He obviously have an entire valley of herbs but only gifted this. However, Shen Miao was staring at that strings and her gaze was slightly swaying. In her previous lifetime, she had gotten a red string from the Taoist priest, and that string accompanied her for several years before landing onto Zi Jingxing's hands. Later her soul inhabited within the red string and became the medium that connected her previous lifetime to Zi Jing Crossing. Suddenly she felt that this red string was somewhat close and dear. She brought her hand out and tied the red string onto her hand. Luo Tan saw her movement and was shocked. "You, youngest Biao's sister. It cannot be that you want to wear this." Shen Miao looked with satisfaction at the red string that was tied around her hand and picked the other one before speaking to Zi Jingxing. "Stretch your hand out," Zi Jingxing said. "I am not wearing it." "Stretch your hand out," Shen Miao repeated. Zi Jingxing looked at her incredulously. "I am a man. This can ensure safety," Shen Miao said casually. "If you and I wear this, when you are in danger, I will be able to know, and when I am in danger, you will also feel it." Luo Tan stood at the side and asked weakly, "Really, that great?" Shen Miao did not care if it was that great or not. She felt that Kaiyan Taoist priest was very capable, so the things that he gave out should be very valuable. If it was truly like Luo Tan said, then this would be just 2 red string, but these things had profound meaning to her. Its meaning was more memorable than the value of gold and silver. After Zi Jingxing heard that, he no longer refused. Even though he was filled with disgust, he still allowed Shen Miao to tie that red string at this wrist and tied a tight knot around it. Luo Tan watched on with her jaws dropped. Zi Jingxing was a manly man and was an elegant and noble Prince Rui, but there was such a plaything on his hands. This made him look as good-looking as in paintings. Never mind about it being feminine. The most important thing was that this red string did not look expensive and was out of place with their outstanding appearances. Shen Miao said, "Done." Zi Jingxing retrieved his hand back and adjusted his sleeves so that the red conspicuous color is blocked. Luo Tan said, "All right, the things are sent over, and seeing that you both seem to have something on, I will not bother and leave first." She then blinked at Shen Miao and dragged out her tone, "I am relieved that youngest Biao's sister is good." She then leave with a trace of smoke. "Shen Miao," Zi Jingxing said, "let's go and watch fireworks." The servants in the residence of Prince Rui. Kong Yang asked Tai Yi softly, "It is Furen that is clearly ill, so how is it that Master's brain is affected?" "It is a bright clear day, so watch what fireworks." Tai Yi handled him a broom expressionlessly. "Sweep the floor." In Wei Yang Palace, Empress Xianda was leaning against the couch reading. She read leisurely as she listened to the palace maid speaking. She then put the book down and her expression seemed to be gratified. "It is good that there is no issue. There is always something happening these days." That Ben Gong even planned to burn some incense and pray for blessings. Shen Miao's assignation attempt was hidden from outsiders but was not concealed from Emperor Yongla and Empress Xianda. Even Jie Yang had no alternatives, much less the imperial physicians in the palace. Speaking of which, it was truly strange these days as accidents happened continuously to the residence of Prince Rui. First it was Zi Jingxing, and when Zi Jingxing just escaped from a catastrophe, it was Shen Miao's turn. It was fortunately that Shen Miao was currently awake and one's heart was able to set down like a rock. Empress Xianda placed the book down and no longer had any mood to read. She stood up and walked over to the windows. The rain fell yesterday night and there was a good weather today. Where were the traces of the great winds of yesterday night other than the falling leaves that were blown off the plum trees? She said to herself. Longyi is not peaceful too. The wind sweeping through the tower heralds a rising storm in the mountains. For the residence of Prince Rui, such an impenetrable place, could have 2 accidents after Zi Jingxing's return to Great Liang. It could only be a message, perhaps of warning or an attack, because Emperor Yongle had started to take action with the Lu family. Tao Gugu was the female official that was by Empress Xianda's side. Ever since Empress Xianda became the Empress, she had always been by her side, and after so many years, she was the most loyal confidant of Empress Xianda. Tao Gugu said, "Today Consort Jing went to the imperial study to look for His Majesty. When she went over, her eyes were full of tears, and when she left, she did not seem well." The palace maid in Jinghua Palace said that upon returning, her ladyship Consort Jing had punished a number of servants and even smashed a lot of things, seemingly in a bad mood. Empress Xianda smiled gently. The Lu family had suffered a disadvantage and also want to test His Majesty's attitude, so naturally one would start from Consort Jing's side. A few days before, didn't Lu Furen even enter the palace to visit Consort Jing? The emperor seemed no longer treats her ladyship Consort Jing patiently. Tao Gugu said, "These days, her ladyship Consort Jing has restrained her attitude towards you. If the emperor really take action towards the Lu family, at Consort Jing's side, let the emperor decide everything." Empress Xianda said faintly, "Be it sincerity or fake emotions, Ben Gong is unable to see all these things clearly. At the beginning when one entered the palace, one understands these principles." She looked towards the worried Tao Gugu and smiled. "Do you think that Ben Gong would still care for all these?" Tao Gugu no longer spoke. Empress Xianda looked outside again. Ever since Ben Gong became this empress, one had not regarded oneself as a female. The emperor's wife is not a wife and has to bear the weight of the people under heavens with him, accompanying in fortune and disasters, sharing life and death. Ben Gong has never been afraid. Ben Gong only felt somewhat regretful. She looked at her abdomen. Ben Gong is not able to give birth to one's own child. At the beginning, if her ladyship Consort Jing. Tao Gugu gritted her teeth and spoke with some resentment and heartache in her voice. "Never mind." Empress Xianda waved her hands tiredly and smiled, but there was a bit of numbness in that smile. With or without Consort Jing, it would be the same. At the end, Ben Gong would not be able to give birth to this child. She said softly, "Take a look at the inner palace. Who is able to give birth to his child? None, and it is impossible." So although Ben Gong have some regrets, the females in this inner palace are all regretful, so the regret that Ben Gong feel is no longer regret. "At least Ben Gong still have this unshakable position," she said.